Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video, and as promised, we've got a video going over all of the new cosmetics from the Spooky Spoils case. Now, this is going to be my first reaction to them. There is 22, I believe, new cosmetics, and after this video, as soon as this video goes live, I'm going to be hopping straight back into TF2 to take a look at all of the new effects, and I'll be talking about each of them. So, as always, I'm going to be doing this on loadout.tf, as, to be quite frank, I can't inspect the items in-game because for whatever reason, TF2 doesn't let you inspect items. So we're going to be going on loadout.tf and going in the order that they're presented in the case's items. Let me know which of these cosmetics is your favourite down below. So, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So this first cosmetic is the Bread Biter, and I'm pretty sure it's multi-class, which, if it is fantastic. It's essentially, assuming it is all class, like a version of the Villain's Veil or the Bruiser's Bandana where it covers the complete lower region of your character's face. However, it's the bread, the mutated bread that we've seen in many items before, like the Bread Bites and the Snack Attack, etc. Of course, that was pretty prominent a couple years ago. So if you get it in Strange, it could be a good alternative to getting something like the Strange Bruiser's Bandana, which can set you back a bit. So overall, this is a pretty cool cosmetic, and I can imagine this being pretty cheap. It would be cool to see it in an unusual class Misc, but realistically, I can't imagine that happening. So this next cosmetic is another face mask. This time it is exclusively for the Scout. I just need to take off this Bread Biter. So it's called the Fuel Injector, and as you can see, it has 3 different styles. It's this kind of gas mask style cosmetic that covers the face region of the Scout. It has a style which actually has tubes running into the backpack, which could be combined really well with other cosmetics in the game. And also we've got one with just one pipe, so it's got 3 styles of varying pipes. This one has no styles at all. Really cool. It kind of reminds me of, like, you could make like a really thuggish Scout loadout. It kind of reminds me of the Villain's Veil, of that kind of level thing. But yeah, I like this, man. This is a cool cosmetic for the Scout. So far we're 2 for 2 in my opinion. Up next we have a cosmetic for the Soldier. This is the Party Poncho, which I love. It's only a blue tier, so it will be pretty cheap, I think. It's really cool. It's just, as the name would suggest, a poncho, a sleeveless sort of knit that covers the entire region of the Soldier, covering his sort of upper legs as well. It's got 2 maracas as opposed to grenades, so the grenades have been entirely replaced by maracas. Really like this though, man. This is a really nice cosmetic. Interesting that it's in the Scream Fortress case though, because it's not overly spooky, but you know, there's not a huge amount we can say about it. It's a really nice looking cosmetic. And also we have another cosmetic with 3 styles here. This is the Pocket Halloween Boss, and it's got 3 styles. You can see we've got a pocket monoculus. Actually, I'll show it on this on demo. It might be a little bit easier. We've got a pocket monoculus, we've got a pocket skull with a crown, we've got a pocket ghost, and we've got a pocket marasmus as well. So 4 different styles for the Pocket Halloween Boss, which I really like. It's essentially 4 cosmetics in one, which is a really nice touch from Valve, or the guy that made this rather, because this could have very easily been 4 separate cosmetics, but the fact it's one cosmetic is really cool. My favourite style has got to be the marasmus. It's the intended style for this, or the main style for this. It's just a really nice cosmetic. Up next we have our all-class cosmetic, the Bat Hat. I thought it was a Scout exclusive. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's definitely all-class. It's the Bat Hat, and as you can see, it is a cap for all classes, and it's a bat, as the name would suggest. It kind of reminds me of the Lucky Cat hat, I'm pretty sure it's called. Let me check. The Lucky Cat hat, it reminds me of that, but a bat version, and it's got wings coming out. In unusual form, this will be pretty expensive in my opinion. Of course, it's an all-class hat, so that instantly raises the value, and I just think this is really nice. It's a very Halloween-styled effect. I mean, you can't really get anything more Halloween-y than a bat on your head. He looks very evil. He's got his fangs pointing out on either side. Just a really nice cosmetic. I can definitely imagine myself picking one of these up. Hopefully unboxing one as well. Up next we have the Candy Cranium for the Pyro. This is a really weird one. It essentially replaces the face mask of the Pyro with cardboard cutouts with little details drawn on, which I think is a really nice touch. You can also see some smudging around the gas vent, which I think is really nice. You can see the sort of corrugated card cut around the side from where the circle has been stuck on. And yeah, I think it's meant to be like a pinata almost, as we can see at the top. It looks like there is some goodies in the top, just chilling there, just vibing. Really silly. I can't imagine this being used in too many serious loadouts, but a pretty cool touch. Up next, we have our first Engineer exclusive cosmetic. This is the El Mostacho. It's a big top hat with a big mustache. The mustache is incredibly exaggerated. As you can see, it goes way past the face region of the engineer. And the top hat as well, it's essentially 2 cosmetics in one. I can imagine the mustache being its own cosmetic and the top hat being its own cosmetic. The top hat itself is fairly basic. It's got a few snags here and there and a big sort of gear up around the top and then some class coloured symbols. I'm pretty sure that would change. Yeah, it changes depending on the team you're on, so the blue and yellow or the red and yellow. But this is nice. I like it a lot. I can imagine this with something like the Allfather. I'm actually going to put that on now just to get a look. Because I feel like this would be a pretty cool combination. So yeah, that is exactly how I imagined it looking. I can imagine a lot of people are going to use this combo. Now we have a heavy item, once again with 2 styles this time. It's called the Convict Cap. It has a style where it puts a big scar across the side of your heavy's face. And he's got a cigarette, which is uncharacteristic of the heavy, so to speak. I can imagine more so being for the spy. Is it multi-class? It's not. It looks as if it's only available for the heavy. And he's got a big plaster on the side of his face. So he's meant to be like a grizzled convict. You know, he's spent his time in the cells. He's done his duty. And it's nice. I can definitely... I wonder if there is a full cosmetic set in this crate. It's just a small sort of striped cap, obviously meant to be like a prison inmate style thing. Very intimidating as well. The heavy is looking very intimidating with that big scar on his face. Now we have a medic item. This is the derangement garment, I'm pretty sure it's called. It's essentially a straight jacket. It's got straps the entire way up around the neck and around the sleeves. Essentially meant to keep someone like tied up so they can't restrict. It's meant for dangerous people, so to speak. So it's a really cool character design. I could almost imagine this being a multi-class, so I'm pretty sure it is a medic exclusive. There's not a huge amount more I can say. They've done exactly what they wanted to with this cosmetic. It looks really accurate and just suits the medic really well, honestly. This is a pretty spooky medic cosmetic. Now we have an all-class item once again with multiple styles. This is the binoculus, and as you can see, it's just a monoculus, all-class sort of glasses thing, a replacement for things like the grey bands, and it replaces your character's eyes with 2 monoculus. It's so spooky. Like it really does make me uncomfortable. There's just something so emotionless and soulless about 2 monoculus eyes looking at you that I don't know. I think the 2 different styles are paint styles. So when they're painted, you can either paint the eyelid color or the iris color. So right now, if we put that on and then apply some paint, we can see we've got pink painted monoculus eyes there, which is even more cursed. Up next we have another medic cosmetic. We've made a full loadout. This is another medic face cosmetic. This is the Madman's muzzle, and it's meant to be, I'm pretty sure it's part of the same cosmetic set, right? He's essentially had his face closed off. There's like bars covering where his mouth are. It looks like something straight out of a horror film. I can't pinpoint what exactly. It just seems so familiar to me. I think the monoculus is kind of throwing me off a bit, but the medic looks like a trained killer. Some very spooky vibes on this one. Now we have a spy cosmetic. This is the second purple of the cosmetic. This is the Voodoo Vizier. It's a top hat with the top half of the spy's head covered by a skull. So it's almost like a mixture of the dead head and a generic top hat. It's nice in my opinion. It suits the spy's aesthetic perfectly. The suit with the top hat and the skull is a very creepy touch. That I wonder if there's different styles where you can maybe not have the hat or not have the skull. I think there's only one style though, but that could be a nice touch, definitely. We have another sort of convict style cosmetic for the heavy. There's 3 styles on this one called the Soviet Strongman. So there's the barbed wire style, the anchor style, and bare arm style. I prefer the anchor style. It reminds me of SpongeBob, like, you know, when their massive hench fish are knocking about. It kind of reminds me of that. Once again, very intimidating for the heavy. We've got this tattooed, scarred heavy smoking a cigarette. It's just the ultimate. He's even got a little angel sandwich. To have some tattoos rather, and those muscles exaggerated, really does add to the intimidation of the heavy. This one is quite interesting. This is the Skullbrero for the Pyro. And it's a massive sombrero, really. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. I can't actually tilt the character, which is a little bit of an issue. Maybe if I go like, yeah, look, it's the skulls on the back, so it's almost like skulls going around the rim of the hat. You can wear this with various other cosmetics to kind of make a cosmetic set. I can imagine this going particularly well with something like the El Muchacho. As we can see, we've got a very sort of themed pyro here for sure. This cosmetic set in particular that I've just put together, in my opinion, the 2 cosmetics are made for each other pretty much. A very, very cool looking cosmetic set here. And I wonder if there's another item to go with the sombrero from this collection in particular. This is an all-class item here, being the horns. This is the horrible horns, And I mean, it looks really nice in my opinion. If we actually just take off the cap that the Scout is wearing here, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. And it's actually got individual designs. So as you can see on the Scout, it's just these little two horns poking out the front of his head. We put it on the Pyro, it's a big sort of unicorn horn. I'm actually really interested to see what it would be on the Heavy. The Heavy gets these like big sort of like devil goat horns, which is a really cool touch. The Soldier gets kind of, I imagine that there's a cosmetic that looks very similar. The Sniper, I mean, these are really cool. I love the fact it's individual to each character, you know. Each character, the Demo's got one broken off on the side that he's missing an eye. What's the Medic's one looking like? The Medic's ones are pretty curved. Spy's looking like, if the Spy has some, just too many pointy ones. And the NG, of course, is the very curved ones at the top. So that was the horrible horns. Pretty cool. I love the fact that it has individual designs for each class. This next one's really cool. It kind of reminds me of the sombrero, however it's a little bit higher, and you also get this sort of mustache for the Soldier. It's pretty unique to the Soldier. There's not really a huge amount of cosmetics that look like this in regards to the fact that, I mean, there's not going to be a huge amount of sets you can make with this, but it's really nice. The mustache looks really cool and comical. Also guys, I only just realised this now I'm editing it, but this goes perfectly with the poncho I showed earlier. I think the cosmetics were part of the same set, made by the same people. So, I don't know how I didn't realise that when I was looking at it. This is the Trick Stabber for the Pyro. This is the first pink of the collection. And we can see he's got like almost like a coat hanger with a spy hanging off it. I love the fact that this is a Pyro exclusive item. I mean, yeah, there's not a huge amount more I can say about it. It's pretty basic. It surprises me that it's an assassin grade. I could literally imagine this being a blue grade item. Once again, editing this, I realised that this is pretty much identical to the Sammy cap for the Heavy. Whether it was made by the same person or not, I'm not too sure, but the fact it's dangling something that the class wants to destroy or eat or you name it, it's got to be a correlation. This Sniper cosmetic is a little shoulder cosmetic, and it's called the Elizabeth III. It looks like a Venus flytrap, so to speak, I guess. I mean, yeah, this is probably a reference again that's just gone right over my head. It looks like the plant from Plants vs. Zombies. Maybe it's a reference to that, but I don't understand why it's a Sniper exclusive. It's pretty cool the way it sits on the shoulder and you have like a vine reaching around his shoulder though. Also for the Pyro, we've got two items coming in here. We've got the Head of the Dead. One style being just a plain skull, which is like an upgrade to the Last Breath. We've seen the Last Breath. This is like the one up from the Last Breath. As you can see, it's a more sort of detailed, hollowed out skull. Makes me very uncomfortable to look at. And then there's one with all sorts of paintings around it. It reminds me of an Engineer cosmetic. I'll pop it on the screen now. It kind of reminds me of that, but I like the non-painted version. That is going to be like the new Last Breath in my opinion. And the final pink of the case, we have the Rack Man for the Soldier. As we can see, it's just a big raccoon head covering half of the Soldier's head. That's really all there is to it. The eyes sort of glow, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be a pretty cheap cosmetic in my opinion. There is probably a few cosmetics you can partner this with. So he has the Lieutenant Bites, that's what I was thinking of. So this kind of loadout would be pretty cool. It's a soldier and he is finally controlling the race of the raccoon. You love to see it. That one raccoon biting on his pocket and one on his head. God tier. This one's got to be a personal favourite of mine. This is the Pyro Lantern, and it replaces the Pyro's head region with a big pumpkin and puts a little candle inside it so the eyes and the mouth region are glowing. The little touch of the seeds or like growth on the side and then the big cut off point at the top is fantastic. I just think this is such a cool and natural looking design. I'm definitely going to be trying to pick one of these ones up myself. And the last item is an all-class hat. As I was saying earlier, do you guys remember the Lucky Cat hat? It's essentially kind of like that in my opinion. It's like a beanie style, but as opposed to being a cat, it's a skeleton or a skull with lifting up a top hat with one arm on his hip and the other one lifting the top out. This is such a cool design. It stands out so much. If this is available in unusual form, it's got to be a god tier. I love this design so much. As I said about the Pyro Lantern, I definitely want to be picking myself up a Mr. Bones. But guys, that is just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, please do remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. If you'd like to see more videos like this and general gaming content, do be sure to subscribe. As I said, I will be covering everything Scream Fortress related. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and peace. Not writing sonnets, keep it close to my heart like a locket, never dishonest. High up in the stars just like a comet. I get that profit, then I do the dash just like I'm Sonic. I'm dashing out the blue so they can call me supersonic, but my eyes been super red cause we've been smoking super chronic. Got the flavors in the bag, you would think that I'm a florist, and I know that makes you mad.